Are you ready to stop holding yourself back and start chasing your dreams? You're in the right place. Today, we're talking about conquering self-doubt and finally going after the life you've always wanted. It's time to let go of second-guessing and dive into powerful steps that will help you break free from doubt and build real confidence. Your goals are waiting, let's go after them, starting now. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Ready? Let's get started. Understanding the weight of self-doubt. Before we tackle self-doubt, let's take a moment to understand what we're up against. Self-doubt might seem like just a few hesitant thoughts, but it's much more powerful than we realize. It can settle in like a thick fog, obscuring the path to what we truly want. Before we know it, we're second-guessing every move we make. Self-doubt doesn't just appear out of nowhere, it grows from deep-rooted beliefs. It's the what-if questions. What if I'm not good enough? What if I fail? What if I make a fool of myself? These thoughts don't just appear randomly. They're shaped by past experiences, the voices around us, and societal pressures. The longer we let these doubts sit, the stronger they become. They start defining our limits and creating invisible walls that hold us back. Think of it this way: self-doubt is like carrying around a heavy backpack. At first, you may not notice it, but over time it slows you down and makes every step harder. Many people reach a point where they stop trying, telling themselves they're just not cut out for their dreams. But the truth is, they were never given a fair chance to try because their doubts held them back at every turn. The source of self-doubt. We live in a world that pushes us to be the best, to stand out, and to have everything figured out. Social media often shows us a perfect version of everyone else's life, making us feel like we're falling behind. We begin to think that confidence is something only a few lucky people are born with. But that's not true. Every successful person you admire has faced their own moments of self-doubt. The key difference? They didn't let it define them. Self-doubt is often born from past experiences, times we tried and failed, moments when we were criticized or ignored. These setbacks leave scars, and over time we internalize them as proof that we're not capable. It's like picking up stones and carrying them with us. One small failure might not seem like much, but eventually those stones add up, and we start to believe they represent our future rather than isolated events. But here's the thing: each setback, each failure is just one part of the bigger story. It doesn't define your limits unless you let it. The role of fear. Fear is a close companion to self-doubt. Whenever we think about chasing what we really want, fear floods our minds with what-ifs. What if I fail? What if I look stupid? What if I waste time? These fears keep us stuck in the comfort zone, holding us back from growth. Here's the truth: staying in your comfort zone doesn't protect you from failure. It just prevents you from discovering your true potential. The key to overcoming fear is realizing that growth happens outside of that zone. Recognizing self-doubt. So how do you recognize self-doubt when it shows up? Start by noticing the patterns in your thoughts and actions. Pay attention to the things you tell yourself you can't do or shouldn't try. Negative self-talk is a big sign. I'm not talented enough, or someone else would do it better. Listen for the excuses. I'll start next year when I'm more prepared. These are all ways self-doubt convinces you to settle for less. But here's the good news: self-doubt isn't permanent. It might feel like part of who you are, but it's just a layer you've built over time. Underneath that layer is the real you, the person capable of achieving your dreams. Self-doubt is just a habit, and habits can be changed. Think of it like peeling back layers of an onion to reveal your true potential, free from fear and limitation. As you start recognizing self-doubt for what it is, a weight you don't need to carry, you will begin to see the endless possibilities that were hidden beneath it. The roots of self-doubt. Self-doubt doesn't appear out of nowhere. It has roots, and understanding where it comes from is key to weakening its hold on you. Think of it like a weed in a garden. A seed was planted, maybe through a comment, an experience, or an expectation that felt too big. Over time, that seed grew roots, and if we're not careful, it can overtake the garden of our mind. For many of us, self-doubt starts in childhood. Maybe you heard a teacher say, "Not everyone is good at math," or "Some people just aren't natural artists." Comments like these though seemingly small, can plant seeds of doubt that grow into beliefs over time. Even well-meaning advice from family members, maybe you should have a backup plan, or don't aim too high, can have a lasting impact, making us more cautious than courageous. Additionally, past failures, times we didn't succeed, become another root. Each time something didn't go as planned, we internalized it as proof that we should hold back. But those failures don't define who we are. They're simply part of the journey. And resilience is built one step at a time. Social pressures and cultural expectations. Society and social media contribute significantly to our self-doubt. We compare our lives to the polished versions we see online, which leads us to believe that we're falling short. We start to think that success looks a certain way, and if we don't fit that mold, maybe we're not good enough. But remember, everyone has their own struggles, and the highlight reels we see online rarely show the failures or setbacks. Fear of judgment is another major contributor to self-doubt. We want to appear strong and capable to others, even when we're struggling. This pressure can stop us from trying new things, because if we don't try, we can't fail. But, in reality, most people are too focused on their own lives to judge us as harshly as we fear. Cultural expectations also shape our beliefs about success and failure. Different cultures have different ideas of what success looks like, and when we don't meet those standards, we begin to question our worth. But these expectations aren't always aligned with our true selves, and they shouldn't define us. Uprooting self-doubt. Self-doubt is not who you are. It's a collection of voices, experiences, and beliefs that you've absorbed over time. It's like wearing clothes that don't fit, yet feeling obligated to keep wearing them. But the real you is beneath those layers of doubt, waiting to emerge. So, how do you begin to uproot self-doubt? Start by challenging its origins. Reflect on past experiences, memories, or beliefs that still echo in your mind. Who told you that you weren't good enough? What past mistakes have you allowed to shape your present? Once you identify where self-doubt comes from, ask yourself if it truly belongs to you, or if it's just a story you've picked up along the way. The beliefs that shaped you don't have to define you. They're just part of the journey that brought you here. Self-doubt might feel deeply ingrained, but it's just a collection of impressions. The real you, capable, resilient, and ready to grow, is waiting beneath the surface. Reframing failure and risk. Failure and risk often feel like the biggest barriers between us and our dreams. They loom large, making us hesitate. But what if we could reframe them? Let's look at failure as a stepping stone, not the end of the road. What if risk isn't a threat, but a bridge? These aren't walls holding you back, they're pathways guiding you forward. Failure often feels like proof we're not good enough, but it's actually evidence of our resilience. Every successful person you admire has faced failure too, but instead of letting it define them, they used it as a learning tool. Failure isn't a big dramatic moment. It's a series of small, everyday challenges that shape us. Think of each failure as part of the uphill journey, where every misstep still propels you forward. Risk is another area we tend to fear. We've been taught to avoid risk at all costs. But risk is actually the key to progress. It's what bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Without risk, you stay in your comfort zone, never moving forward. But when you take that leap, you're making an investment in your potential, your dreams, and your future. When you embrace risk, you're trusting yourself and opening the door to possibilities you may have never imagined. Every failure, every risk, and every attempt is part of a bigger picture, part of your personal growth journey. So, instead of fearing them, embrace them as essential steps toward becoming who you're meant to be.